And yes, we are live now.
So what do you want to get start on first then?
I don't care. You said you recently worked at the bird farm.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was that? Like I know there's a lot of bird shit, but I've worked there before. Yes, I know. But how was that? Explain that for some of the people that might be listening.
Well, I had to go to a deer ride at Endicott. Semi truck wasn't there because they were dealing with another delivery, getting held back. So
Speak up a little bit.
all right, my bad.
No, you're fine. Pretend like you're presenting
anyway.
or speaking speech. You know, like you're giving a speech. You remember speech class?
Yeah,
I took that with you, didn't I?
didn't like speech class, so we all know this.
I know. We took that together, though, didn't we?
Well, anyways, had to go to Endicott. We repaired holes in the net because the birds, when they fly up, they keep on each and every time they put it, they add more tension onto the net itself, and sometimes it just breaks.
Yeah.
Well, we go in with a stapler and cinch it back up. We had to clear some pens. We had to push birds with plastic and clear out a couple of the pens just so we can actually be safe with no birds actually trying to escape the pens while we're carrying in the boxes of birds into there. But we got pretty much 2,000 birds underneath an hour.
Did you guys have to peep any of the birds? During that shipment, were they
Nope.
were they all pheasants?
They're all pheasants and they're blinderless. They were just all for shooting birds.
For shooting birds. Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure. Maybe explain to some of the viewers what is a blinder and what exactly does it do?
A blinder is a little piece of rubber and it goes down, and mostly you have a piece of plastic arrow that goes through it, and it goes through the nose, through the bird. It does not really hurt it.
No, because it's like a hole that goes directly through. Both nostrils are connected.
Exactly.
Like,
and the arrow just goes through. Well, first the rubber, you hit the plastic on the rubber, go through one side, make sure you go through the other side without actually hurting the bird or punching through your finger, which happens.
Yeah. All right, so back to the peeping of the birds. We just finished describing that.
Well, what the blinders are meant to do is to not make the birds actually attack each other, because when they see red, they'll usually go for it.
Yeah, like if one of them's kind of bloody, they'll all gang on, jump on top of it, and attack it, kind of like chickens.
Exactly. And sometimes what we call peeps is when we have a whole bunch of birds that haven't been blindered, and we have to put blinders on them and toss them through a hole into another room. But come on, what's it here?
I think you were explaining why you blind birds and what shipping reasons.
Well, the way it happens when we're not quick enough in the rooms, the pheasants will pile up on each other and actually try to suffocate each other.
Oh, okay.
Also, so we actually have to move birds also and always be motion around the room, clearing everything out because the rooms get really hot.
Yeah, keep them funneling, because if they aren't funneling, then they can beat each other up. Yeah.
Usually a summertime job anyway.
I always, when I worked there, my favorite thing to do there was weed eating and fucking going to collect eggs. Like, those were my two favorite parts of that, and washing eggs. Washing eggs was actually not that bad.
I mostly enjoyed all the work when
Tarps.
I worked up there.
I especially enjoyed lunch. Like, lunch was great, and Andy was really nice.
Oh, yeah. The work was, yes, you're dealing with shit, but the work has to be done anyway, and I grew to know that when I was really young, and it gave you and me a decent work ethic. Yeah. Like, I feel I worked for a lot of different people, before that, but
like those were mostly like, oh yeah, I'll rake your yard for like $20 or this or that. Like that teaches you a little bit of a work ethic, but things like working at a place of business like that on a different level, you're helping pack up birds now, and helping ship them and get them ready to be ready to be going to different places. And they do pheasant and different types of quail up there too, don't they?
And also chucker.
And chucker.
Yeah.
I knew they did a type of quail and pheasants. I wasn't sure if they did chucker or not. Yeah, that's the only 3 birds they do.
I do believe so, because they used to have what is it called? Reeves? They were a bigger kind of pheasant, but they're more of a fighting bird. And
they're like the Chinese one.
Yeah, they're
like
territorial.
They're different colored too. They're like green. Yeah, they have more green, and
they
can
like, have a green tint to them, but they can also have brown. And it's a mixture between like brown, black, and
green.
Different type of spotted.
It's like the more colorful chickens you see in
sometimes
like Mexican
white
restaurants.
Head, white and black. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really long talons.
I've seen pictures of those, but it's been a long time.
More like that.
Those like, it's kind of funny how there's so many different like types of different birds, animals, and or whatnot. Like especially if you're just talking about like white-tailed deer, for example. There's white-tailed deer, and then there's also albino white-tailed deer, and then there's black white-tailed deer. It's like
that's pretty crazy.
And then there's the multicolor ones that are like they're and I know a guy he showed me a picture while I was at work, showed me a picture of one that was multicolor. I was like, oh man, I haven't heard of a multicolored whitetail in like years. I haven't heard of one in like probably a decade now, which it's weird for me to say that, but the last time I heard one was probably 13 or 14 years old. I'd only been hunting for a couple of years the first time I ever heard of one. But it's like black and white wolves, and then there's the one that we all know that's the moderate of like, it's the salt and pepper, like wolf. That's the classic, like that's the one that most packs are made up of.
Right.
I'd like to go hunting for predators more. That'd be kind of cool, I think.
Right, actually have time
to do that and go out and go with someone like like Conrad or something. He has a bunch of dogs or a bunch of hounds, and he runs like cats and stuff, and he runs bears. But it's like that'd be next level hunting for someone. I don't know if he hunts like wolf packs or not, but like. You ever see like Alaska: The Last Frontier or like Mountain Men? Those shows.
I've seen a little bit, but not too much. Actually, be completely into the show and whatnot.
There's Life Below Zero. That was a really good one on Discovery Channel, I think it was.
Yeah, what harshest conditions people actually survive in.
And there was that guy on there who had the
wild animals.
Yep, he had the giant pack of wolves that was like living near him, and he's by himself out in the wilderness living, and he steals that their meat. There's an episode where he steals this wolf pack's like animal that they killed.
Right.
And he like goes down, scares them off, steals it. And they're like mad at him. They had like revenge out for that guy.
Nice.
I watch a lot of that. A lot of like hunting channel stuff. There's a really good ones. I can't think of his name. It's called Meat Eater. But I can't think of the Steve Ranella. That's the guy's name. But he has a lot of good shows.
Okay.
He tries to incorporate every little aspect of the hunt, the grind, the rain, all the elements of everything that goes into that. The pack out, he wants a really long hike in and a really long hike out. He'll be there.
Challenging.
Yeah, he'll like hike out into the wilderness and be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna hike out for a day, and I'll get to where I'm gonna set up my tent. And like go from it's like, holy shit, you're gonna hike out to where you're gonna like set up your tent, a whole day's hike. And then you're going to set up your tent, and then you're going to hunt for like 4 or 5 days, and then you're going to pack up your shit and leave. And if you get an elk, then you have to pack up your shit, leave with the elk. Like, Jesus.
It's all about it. Well, I guess for that guy, it's really true determination on how far he wants for his game.
Yeah. Like, he tries to incorporate, like, the feelings of the kill. Like, like, he doesn't want, he thinks that, like, a lot of hunting shows do the thing where, bang, and the guy goes, yeah! And, freaks out.
Right.
And he tries to not incorporate, like, that. He's like, yeah, you want the excitement, but he has the whole build-up to what is the excitement of the show. The where you get the shot, and then you have the feeling of, like, a lot of people have a feeling of not regret, but they feel like they lost something while they're gaining this. And I never really felt like I'm losing something, but I do feel like a connection with my primal instincts, Like, I feel like I do get, like, you get that, like, unexplainable feeling of multiple emotions.
Most definitely.
After you get as you're approaching it, you get up there, like, he's down, yes, it's like incomparable. You couldn't compare it to anything else really in the world.
Are you sure he's down? I'm pretty sure he is.
Yeah, I've had to put down a couple of them before, and the worst one was the first time I had to do one was I shot that mule deer doe. I probably told you the story before, but I shot that mule deer doe and her shoulder blade. Like, I was up about 4 inches and 4 inches to the right. She was like, I'd say 65 yards away from me. But I was standing in a field and I drew up and dropped her. And as she was going down, she made this, like, wail, like a bleat. As she was going down, hits the ground. And I get up to her and she's, like, still moving her head. But, like, she was incapable of going anywhere. It was the first time I've ever had to kill something. Put a knife in its throat, and you watch the life leave this thing's eyes. It's another level of
feeling. Change a different color, like, completely.
Yeah, it's like you see the glaze over of the loss of the life as this thing is dying.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's also very great because you get the reward of getting to eat what you fought for.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it took you some form of a sacrifice to get to the point of where you shot that thing, sacrificing time, making it so you can get out there and find the right spot to either set up or the right spot to hike into.
And actually pack it out.
And be able to pack it out, because you don't, like, I hate hunting downhill if I have to go down, like, something that's really steep. If I'm hunting uphill, above the road or something, and I shoot, I'm cool with going up something steep, because I'm not having to worry about having to try to climb up this with 100 or 100 plus pounds of meat on my back.
Right.
Or if you shoot a deer, I always try to drag those suckers out, and the best way, like, is usually you're hunting somewhere where you don't have to drag it uphill, which is nice. It's like usually there's either a road downhill, or you can make it down to a creek, and then you drag it in the creek bed until you get to somewhere where you can find a road.
But sometimes you don't have those.
Yeah,
options.
Sometimes you don't have those things. It just depends on.
Do what you gotta
well, yeah,
do.
and that's kind of the grind of depending on where you choose to set up your hunt. It's kind of like when you're playing Warzone, where you choose to set up your hunt for the next dude that you're gonna take out. That game is it's so entrenching. It feels so realistic. Like, if you imagine playing that in VR, and you have yourself your VR rifle in your hand, like one of those slide rifles that they have nowadays that mimic everything. It's like, and having a like, I know they have other games that do this, but I know you can't. I don't think you could do it necessarily with Warzone. But they have haptic feedback in the gun, and haptic feedback, so you can feel it. Like, it's like somebody's bump on it. Like, you feel it, you feel the impact, which would be cool. Like, so it's kind of like a paintball now, but before you know it, you're gonna be able to feel getting tased on a game like that.
No. I'm good. You have a chance of being tased anyway, man, if you get it wet or something. And
I know.
Will just...
I know. We do need to do that. Like one of those taser royales.
Oh. You're crazy, man.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. You just buy like 5 or 6 tasers and get together 5 or 6 of your close buddies, and we all battle. But we have to put up like, okay, yeah, it's $50 buy-in. Well, I don't want to spend $50 to get tased. No, I don't either. But putting $50, whoever is the last person that's alive, which we won't die from getting tased.
No,
but whoever's the last man standing at the top of the thing gets $250 or $600 or $300. You're getting whatever prize that you're wanting to have it set at. We could do $100 and then each person's putting $100 in, but we wouldn't have to do tasers necessarily. We could do that for like paintball guns and shit too.
I don't know. If you want to go around and tase each other, I'm pretty sure one of us is bound to shit himself.
I know. Somebody's bound to crap their pants or, get mad and be like, you assaulted me, and then you're going to court with one of your best friends because you were in a taser battle with each other. God damn it. We all agreed. Well, there's no contract.
That's a probability.
It's a possibility, yes, of course. It's like, oh, well, it could happen. It's just like if you, what are the odds that your mother or your grandmother's are going to sue you? Like, not very likely, but, if your mother or something slaps you across the face and then you feel the need to slap her across the face, like that, and I mean, physically do it, backhand your mom across the face, and your mom's like, you know what? I'm not taking this anymore. I'm suing your ass. And then your mother's suing you. What are the odds that something like that would happen? It's very astronomical.
It depends on how the person is.
Yeah,
it
depends on
little bastard and don't know better and
yeah.
smack your mama. That's just rude, man.
Yeah, that is very rude. I don't know.
You don't hit women, period.
No, you don't hit women, period. And I don't know anyone that's ever hit their mother.
What I tell you?
I mean, I might know somebody that has, but nobody's ever shared this information with me if they have.
Right. It's a hush-hush subject.
Yeah,
it is.
It's very touchy. Very, nobody. Like at work, you don't really hear people talking about their sex life unless it's going really good.
I'm proud of what I did last night.
Yeah, it's common things that people have in common.
Right.
Yeah. Like dicks. And I don't mean physical, penis dicks. I mean dicks at work. They're always the same type of guy.
Rude. Yes.
And it's you don't know, you don't have thought of how I feel about anything, do you? You don't care. And it's you know what? I understand you. And you gotta kind of just okay, yeah, you're kind of a dickish person, but I'll allow it. I know lots of people that are like that, though.
Oh, yeah.
Especially working at a Napa store.
Well, a lot of it's in time and place. I mean, you got...
Yeah.
You definitely have a time and right.
Yep, and sometimes... Well, yeah, and sometimes those jerk customers can be really nice by accident. Hey, that's my smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my cigarettes. Your butthole's right on it, dude. No, that's not cool.
Well, that's more of his hip, but...
I know. It was for the people. I was telling them that the dog's butthole was on my pack of cigarettes.
Yes, my pup.
Yes, but it was just on it was on under his hip. It's okay. What would you rather me call it? A chili rang?
No. Good.
No. Watching.
So what were we talking about last again?
Last we were talking about well, what we left off on was dickish people at work, but yeah. I was hoping you'd have something to say about dickish people at work too, but you
but
probably
most of the time it's not how can I say this? Most of the time it's not that truly them trying to be dickish, it's just them adding humor just to get the day go by.
Yeah, sometimes their humor is sometimes that is also coming out of you.
It's not really harmful. It's just your reaction, and they're trying to get a kick out of it or something else.
Yeah, it's like that 4 Agreements book I read. Fucking one of the 4 agreements is don't ever take anything personally. You know, you can't take things personally. You know, one of them be impeccable with your word. So it's like basically mean what you say and say what you mean and do what you say you're going to do.
Right.
You know, so I've been working on that one. And one of them's also be the best you can be. So like be as good of a person as you can.
I'm sorry, but that really sounded like elementary type of shit right there. Be the best.
Well, there's
you can be.
yeah, they're 4 agreements. It's more like it's not like the whole each one of the agreements they explain.
Like you're trying to be true to yourself, and you're going to improve. And
yeah, in a sense, and it's the book isn't exactly how my entire it doesn't explain everything in my entire life. No book could ever really necessarily do that for any individual person. You can have things you can relate with. And that's like people that you know, too. You're never going to be like at 100% just like each other. Your friends, your companions, your family, people you interact with. Like, you're never going to be always copacetic 100% of the time.
Right.
Like, you're going to have disagreements with people you like no matter what. I've probably had more disagreements with my mom and my grandmother than I will or have with any other person ever.
It's kind of hard.
But I love them too the most out of all the people in my life. So,
if anything, it'd be hard to put a limit onto it. And
I notice a lot of times that people are not actually mad at you when they're pushing that shit at you. Like, most of the time, they're not actually mad at you. They're mad at the situation, and they're mad at something. You know, they're a lot of people are actually mad with themselves. Like, if you think about it, like a cranky old guy who you can tell evidently he doesn't wear any nice clothes, doesn't have he doesn't drive like even a 30, within the last 30 years, he doesn't own a vehicle that's that new. It's a 30-year-old rig, like something like that. Like those old guys, they're probably just cranky at life because they were dealt a shit hand. They didn't have, they didn't give themselves the opportunities. They didn't take certain opportunities. Everybody has something that they can do to make themselves better in some way.
But
with whatever you have in your capability. You have if you're playing the ultimate game of chess of life, think of life as a game of chess or a game of, poker. You get dealt shit hands, and what happens? The hand gets reset. Like me, right now I've been dealt a shit hand, kind of in a way, with multiple things that have went on in my life lately. But you know what? As soon as this hand is over, I now have a new hand.
Right.
I have. To me, it's like I've already. I'm now living my present life, and everything up until certain points is now my past life. It's already been. I've already had it. Like I've already experienced that. Like every piece of. Every different. We have different phases of our life, and throughout these different phases, these things that happen to us, whether it's a loss of a family member, somebody dies that you love, very close to you, or somebody you have known for a long time, one of your really good friends moves away, very far away, things like that. These different things, or if you decide that you want to move away. Things like that. Like I want to move to Hawaii, and you save up $10,000, and you decide you're going to pay for 4 months rent on an apartment there, and whatever. Like you have a plan, you have your whatever it is. We all have these hands that will be redistributed. In time, in due time, you'll get a different hand with different cards. At the end of it.
Oh yeah. You have your times out, and sometimes it'll be slow, and sometimes it feels like it's quick. But
yeah, Although I
It is.
will say, these hands that we are dealt, you know, you do the best you can with that fucking hand until you have a better card.
Right.
You know, we
Or
all
try to get a
all
better
have different cards that are out there that, you know, we wish we could grab, but, you know, some of them you won't succeed at. I want to be an actor. Well, you might go do it for 5 or 6 or 7 years and you don't become successful. What the fuck happens now?
Everybody has their limits.
Yeah.
You can only be so great at a couple of things, or sometimes people can't be great. And
Well, a lot of people don't even know what the fuck they're good at. A lot of people just, they go to work, they come home, they do whatever they like to do. You know, they may be good at like art, like, oh, you know, you can draw really good or this or that, and that's your hobby when you get home. But you hate your job, and you love this drawing, you know, birds or flowers or whatever the heck you're good at. You know, different people can draw different things better. Other people can draw people better than I can. I can draw animals pretty well, but like other than that, I'm not good at drawing. I wouldn't
can hardly draw a stick figure. Come on.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like some people like oh yeah, you play basketball. Yeah, I play basketball, but I wouldn't call myself a basketball player. I play, you know, like me personally, I play basketball like twice a year probably. I would like to play it more, but
I hardly play basketball.
Yeah,
I can shoot a couple hoops.
I will say it's probably actually
it's
been about a year and a half since I threw a basketball. Now that I think about it, I should buy a basketball, and this summer I'll play basketball.
I say last year, I still have a basketball right now, but. Yeah, it was during last year 2 years ago when I bought that basketball. Time flies by.
Yeah, time does fly. It does that. That's probably the saddest fucking thing in all of this universe, is that as you get older, it goes by quicker.
Oh yeah.
Like I notice it just in the last 5 years or so, 6 years. You know, it's like, holy shit. I was in high school yesterday.
People get older, they have different looks.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can change a little bit.
A little bit. I don't feel that people. I don't feel that
true change if they say they change them like completely.
I know people who are sober people who quit drinking, quit doing drugs, but they still, like, I know people that have the same like mentality after they're sober.
Right.
Like, it's like, and I don't mean like the same mentality of like, they just find different things to get addicted to. Which that's really all you have to do is like, what do you think that people who are really successful do? They get addicted to their job. Like, in a way, they're like most people who end up getting raises at jobs are people who are putting in extra overtime, always showing up early or at least, you know, on time,
or putting in
never late, put in extra effort every time.
Right.
And it's like, you know, that's like, I know a couple of people who work 50, 60 hours a week, and they just grind, and they get paid the same shit all year, every year. They get their same bonus for Christmas every year. And like, I'm not opposed to that. Like, that's what I have to do to survive too. We all have to do that shit, and you punch your clock. But those dudes work that regularly, and they get no like every couple of years you might get a fucking raise. But that's bullshit. Like, if you're say you're working somewhere that's like like you work for a design firm that makes posters, and all of a sudden you're making 200 sales in a day. You know, you're selling 200 posters in a day, which maybe you're selling 10 posters at a time. Who fucking knows? But you're selling 3 times as much as any other salesman, and you continue to do that, you know, because you're taking your effort, you're working overtime and doing the shit. You get the reward for doing work that no one told you to do.
Right.
You know, nobody's like, oh yeah, we need to pump out extra sales. Everybody just, you know, basically you're taking the initiative and getting those extra sales, so you make more money and get a raise and get a bonus, like whatever, or get a promotion, whatever it is. Those are the people in, I don't know. I also consider those type of things like they're a pyramid scheme. Like there's a lot of things in this world that are a pyramid scheme that just it's part of your life, man. Like it's something that's it's just how that job works. Right. Like you could say that what you or I do is a pyramid scheme in the end, because I work at Napa. If I took the extra initiative, took all the extra online classes that I could be a TSM if I wanted to. Even though I haven't went to college, I'd have to start going to college, right, to do that. But I don't care about it that much. I like my job at Napa, and I enjoy the people. They're very, I love my coworkers, and I love my most of my customer basis, and the ones that know that I love them know that. So.
Yeah, but I always think that there always has to be limits on how much people get paid and whatnot.
Yeah, there's got to be a limit, but I almost feel like one of the things is like our entire world essentially has a series of monopolies that are called governments. And the government, I'm not like, this isn't like conspiracy theory bullshit either. We all pay taxes, which is good. It helps provide things like the fire department, and it helps provide things like our roads and our public services such as the post office, and so we can ship mail between each other, which isn't really needed anymore now that we have phones. If they never came up with the post office, we wouldn't need them anymore at this point.
Yeah, but post office actually are the one that actually got us here.
Oh, they work. They work hard. Like they're
so
yeah. I'm not like ragging on post office people either. Like you're government employees. Like you do a great job, and you're all wonderful people, and you're amazing for going out there and delivering, all of everyone's mail early in the morning, or sometimes late in the afternoon, depending on your route. Who knows? I don't know how necessarily
you don't know the schedule.
I don't know how shipping mail works sometimes. I don't know the ins and outs of it.
Right.
I don't know the ins and outs of a lot of government things, but I know JFK, he definitely bid it because of shit that he was talking, whether it was the government or the mob or whatever. He was assassinated by not the dude they say that it was. I'll leave it there because I don't want to get pissed and go on a rant. I know, I do the same thing if people start talking about flat Earth bullshit. Like I don't. I pick it apart.
A bunch of different theories.
I pick it apart, and it's like, dude, I'm just saying.
It's a nerve.
The entire world, all the governments, they can't get along good enough to do that. Like to make us all think that the Earth is a sphere, which it's not. It's not spherical.
No, it's round.
It's round, and it's almost like an oval, like kind of egg shaped. A lot of people describe it as, but essentially, the way I look at it is, the Earth is round. All of our governments don't get along as it is. They wouldn't be able to pretend that the Earth was round, trying to keep you hidden, like in the dark on it. I'm just saying. We have pictures from outer space that are real. We know they've been to space. Nobody really necessarily knows if the footage from the original moon landing is real. Like there's a lot of conspiracy around that, but who fucking knows?
Theories.
I personally believe that shit is real. Neil deGrasse Tyson explains it very nicely. If you ever want to search Neil deGrasse Tyson, find it. It's a very good video. But like I like it a lot. Like Neil deGrasse Tyson, he has a lot of really cool outlooks on science. You know, scientific ways to explain it. Like essentially the way that the sun is beaming past the Earth, the shadows that you see in that footage on the moon, it could only be real that way. You know, in that time period, they did not have the technology to light up a room from it would have had to have been like from like 100 meters away or something like that. It's like they would have had to have laser light technology when they did that in the 60s or whatever, like 1962 or whenever
I'm not really familiar.
I don't remember either. I know it's in the 1960s, I believe, when they shot the first people into outer space and they landed on the moon. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please, seriously, if you ever hear something like that, get on, comment, and tell me that I'm wrong so I can correct that. Some things I will not agree with, by the way.
Stubborn.
Yes, I'm very stubborn. You are too. Don't act like you're not.
Oh, I never said I was innocent one bit.
No,
Everyone
you're
has
not.
their own,
You're not. It's always
quirks
nice.
about 'em.
It's always nice when we're around water. We always just try to drown each other.
Past tense.
Past tense. We always try to drown each other. We'll still try to drown each other. And we won't actually drown each other. We just like wrestling. It's nice to like fight at the beach sometimes. All out brawl your buddy. Don't hit me in the face. No ball shots.
Oh yeah. Sucks when the water goes up the nose though.
Yeah,
that's
that
a lot
it
of
does.
pressure.
That it does. I don't like getting put in a chokehold while we're underwater either.
No, that's difficult to breathe.
It's very well. Yeah, it makes you want to when you get like a jolt to the throat with a fucking elbow. It feels like you want to suck in, and you're like,
because you do. Because you just got stopped by your airflow, and you're like, oh damn it! There goes that water.
yeah. We should go camping this summer. That'd be fun.
Most definitely, dude.
Like at some point get a hold of Chris and Kenzie and see if we can all just go somewhere and go camping. That'd be fucking legitimately fun.
Oh yeah. It's been years since I've been camping. For sure.
Years.
Well, I can't really. I'm not counting work.
You're not counting work, and you're also not counting like
no,
hunting, are you?
Because I ain't really camping. I'm working.
Yeah, you're there going there for the task of either hunting or working. So essentially, it's not camping.
No,
Got it.
It's business. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, no, I agree. Go camping. Like, oh, well, I just want to toss a fishing rod in the water. You know, like go fishing. You know,
trout's good. Trout's always good.
Want to sit down and drink a bottle of vodka, then I can. You know, nobody can tell me no either because I'm sleeping here tonight.
Oh, if you're in a cold spot, actually get a fire going, a fire pit.
Yeah.
Well, and their fire rings just in case, you know.
What kind of fire pits you like? Like, do you see ones that you like that are? I know I like the ones that are made out of those the bricks that are like cornered. Like each one of them are corner bricks, so you basically just wrap them in a circle. I love those. That's like that would be the ideal.
I find those decent, but they're really much of a pain on the knees when you're trying to bend over and put the pieces of wood into it. Yeah. I really like pretty much a hole in the ground. If you actually have to have a barrier, rocks a light layer of rocks around it will actually help it out and resist airflow.
Yeah, it helps. Well, it also helps. It helps resist airflow from side winds, but those rocks help push air. It helps circulate air in weird ways, which I guess is a cool, fun fact.
Yeah, but
I like watching those survival shows, like some of those survival, like Survivor Man. He
Fire's
fucking.
okay, I'm sorry to stop you there, but fire is awesome. The fire always dances when you start it up.
Yep.
When you feed it, it just it gets a little bit hotter, but it's always entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
Because it never stops. Just
you
different motions.
You know, it's funny. They say that people love like two things that you can say see are past evolution. Like you can see things from our past generations through fire. You know, like we all have this natural tendency to love, like staring at a fire. You know, like being around a campfire. We love that feeling. Like most people love that feeling. And fires are one of them. And little kids thinking that there's monsters in their closet and under their bed. It's from when we were we were in the wilderness, afraid of big cats. You know, like whether you were in Africa, they're afraid of big cats at nighttime. It's a monster, and those are monsters, dude. Like they're just they're in time living monsters that we are still afraid of, that we don't like. It's instinctual.
You call that monsters, but it's just animal way, though.
Yeah. An alligator ate a baby in Florida. That's a fucking monster.
No, that is survival.
It's a monster, bro. They're just monsters we know about. Vampires aren't real. Werewolves aren't real.
We'd be the monsters for actually taking out them too and eating them. Huh?
Not necessarily. I'm just saying that
we
fucking
take out
gator.
Their young.
I know.
We take out them.
Well, yeah, we don't really kill
us.
baby gators though. They take those and put those in zoos, man.
If you have that type of equipment and if you got the people to be there,
I will say some old dude with a shovel, he'd go out there and take care of those fucking baby gators real quick.
I'm gonna have me some gumbo tonight.
So I gotta ask, how's life right now? In general.
Can't really complain. Times are on how they are. I mean,
times can be shitty. Yeah, I get that. Times are shitty and slow. Wintertime. I know you work in construction, so essentially
I need to work with the weather. Yeah. Sometimes the weather gets the better of us, and we can't really work in it.
Yeah, I agree. And if it's like snowing or raining, you can't really necessarily do a job unless it's outside, and if it is inside, then if it's raining, then you got to do the job and take your boots off while you're doing it.
Especially if you're trying to put holes in the ground, you can't because
it's frozen.
It's too wet.
Frozen or too wet. Because either way, then you end up having just mud build up, water.
Post swamp slide,
Yep. I can agree with that. I've experienced that one.
It's never fun.
Oh damn! It's so wet. This post don't want to stay right there.
Or you get the opposite effect when you're not even trying to get it stuck in, and it just, gosh dang slop! No.
Oh, dude, Spider-Man: No Way Home. It's gonna be on Stars pretty soon.
Okay.
As soon as it's on, I'll show it to you. Like we can watch it. I'll buy it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, if you can buy it, if you have to rent it, or if you just have to pay for Stars, whatever the fuck, whatever it is you have to do nowadays. I feel like an old man sometimes when I talk about TV, because I was raised by my grandparents, so.
TVs are they go back a ways, but now generation they can go all right on friends off of Grown Ups, even though that's a couple years back movie.
Yeah.
But as soon as they walk into the old the house itself, and the kid walk up to the TV and like, hey, what's this thing attached to the end of the box? that's the rest of the TV sport. They didn't always have flat screens back then.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's some Stone Age shit, isn't it?
Yeah, you probably remember that big ass fucking wooden TV that we had it when we lived in that house in Peck when I was like 5, you know, before I was in kindergarten.
Right.
But yeah, that house was right across from Peck School.
Yep.
We had that big ass TV, and we had that all the way through. Like, I remember being like, I think I was 8 or 9, and when Dad was still living at the house up in Nez Perce, we would still watch TV and play video games on that TV. Like, it weighed 100 and some pounds. Big wooden motherfucker. Like, I don't know how people did it back then. I don't know how you'd like, oh, I want a big TV. It's like, okay, well, you and 2 other people can fucking pack that in your house.
Here, can you split that in half and shimmy through the doorway and put that other way?
Yeah. It's one of the things about being a little bit younger than people around you. It's like, I remember the days, sorta, kind of, just because I was, you know, raised in the family that I was raised in.
Oh, yeah. People are raised all sorts of ways.
Yeah.
I'm kind of grateful to how I was raised, but
definitely gave you a lot of insight.
Oh yeah, experience.
Yeah, I think people gain different things from different people, and if you had a dad that didn't really fucking like try to teach you stuff, like if you had a dad that he would tell you something, but he wouldn't try to teach you.
Right.
You know?
And
I know people that like even just tell you how to do it, and then, you know, not like show you, like my grandpa or even my dad, like they're the type of people that's like, oh well, here, I'll show you the first couple, and they do it for you, and then you fucking take your turn and you do the rest. That's how you learn. Otherwise, you'll be struggling for the rest of your life.
Right.
In some ways, anyways.
You don't got the know-how, so you're not going to be able to know how to do it.
Yeah, and people forget to ask questions. I know people that get mad when they don't know something, and they don't want to tell you that they don't know it. Like my coworker, one thing about my coworkers, the nice thing, anyways, is that most of them know when to ask questions if they don't know something.
Right.
And that's like, I'll leave it at that. But like, I really enjoy people that ask a question because they don't know, instead of just doing what they think is, like, they think they'll be able to do. You know, oh yeah, I can do this, and then they do it, and they did it like completely wrong.
Right.
Like, dude, just ask for a little bit of help. You think you're doing it right, but still, like, even if you think you're doing it right sometimes, like I do it all the time, if I think I'm doing it right, I'll ask for a second opinion just in case.
Right.
Just in case. And it's to back my own ass up.
Give me the knowledge so I know I'm not screwing up. I know it might irritate you a little bit,
hey,
but I might know how.
I might have done this like 10 times.
The first time, but
yeah, I might have done this like 10 times, but I still, like, I just want to double check. Is this correct? You know, have I been doing it right?
Right. I don't want to mess up here. I don't want to break it. I will need your information, and I need to know the location to put it at.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, well, I had a great conversation with you, brother.
Most definitely.
You want to wrap this bitch up?
Yeah, most definitely.
I agree. Well, I love you.
Love you too, man. That was excellent.
Great having you on.